Hello everyone and welcome to Demos Kratos. 5 months ago, you may have seen the report we did on Bruno's house made from recycled shipping containers. And many of you want to start this kind of project yourselves. Well, you know what? You're not the only ones. Because me too, I was convinced by my own report. And I also decided to start building my own self-sufficient house out of a shipping container. Yeah, I'm such a good influencer that I even influence myself. That's gonna make things complicated for the rest of the YouTube channel. And then, 5 months of arduous work and tough labor. With Antoine, my architect Bruno, who helped design the project, and Solène, my girlfriend, who helped with the interior design. Well, today I'm proud to be able to show you my self-sufficient container house. It's right behind me. It's actually a green screen, not a real background. Well, yeah, because maybe I underestimated how much time it would take me to self-build an ecological, innovative, and self-sufficient house. So today, unfortunately, I won't be able to show you my house simply because it's not built yet, but I'm going to do much better. I'm going to present the whole project to you. We've already made renderings of both the interior and exterior of the house. That's really what it's going to look like. Normally, and at the time I'm recording this video, I've already bought my land, I have my bank loan, and I've submitted the building permit application. The project is well underway and I want to present the details to you. For those of you who haven't seen the report I made about Bruno's house, I'll give you a quick reminder of the concept. To transport their products around the world, companies use shipping containers that cross the oceans on container ships for about 15 years. After those 15 years, the containers are replaced and we end up with a lot of containers to recycle. We know how to recycle the metal from containers, so it's not a significant issue. But recycling still uses energy. And now that these containers are built, well, maybe we could find another use for them. For example, we could use them to build houses. So basically that's the project. I'm going to buy 4 used shipping containers that have already spent 15 years at sea, and I'm going to use them to build the structure of my house. This construction type has 3 benefits. Firstly, it's eco-friendly as the containers are pre-existing. We save recycling energy by reusing them, and we save materials because we don't need to use concrete or bricks. After the foundations are laid, the containers are placed on top, forming the house structure. Then the windows and doors are cut out, making assembly quick and easy. I'll explain all that to you later. And since it's easy to do, you can do a lot of self-building. This construction method saves a lot of money as it's not very expensive to do. To give you an idea, Bruno's house is 85 square meters. He used 3 shipping containers, it cost him a little less than 50,000 euros, and it took him 2 years to build his house himself. As for me, I want to use 4 containers, so that will make a house of 112 square meters, and I want to build it in 6 months. Yeah, in 6 months. I also want to film and broadcast everything on Demos Kratos, so either I'm completely crazy or it's gonna be a huge challenge. As you can see, this is a huge adventure that's starting for me, but also for Demos Kratos. Because you'll be following the progress of his work step by step on the YouTube channel. And you can understand that I won't necessarily have the time to build the house, to film, to edit, to film, to edit, to broadcast all of that. So I need to hire people, I can't do this alone, and that's where you can help me. First, you can help me by subscribing to the YouTube channel like this. That will help increase the visibility of all this a bit, and above all, it will make sure you don't miss the next videos. Well, here I am, I'm talking to you about a series of videos on the progress of the work. But before the first cinder block is laid, there's still quite a bit of work to do. Because, as I'm speaking to you, I've already submitted the building permit, but now I have to wait 2 to 3 months for the city hall to respond and either approve or reject my building permit. If we do a quick recap of the dates, I submitted my building permit on September 1st. So I have to wait a maximum of 3 months, which brings us to December 1st. Then I'll have to wait 2 more months, so the neighbors can contest the project if they don't like it. Which brings us to February 1st, but on February 1st it's too cold to build foundations, so I have to wait at least until March 1st before starting the work. So I still have 5 whole months ahead of me before the work starts, and that's good, because I need to learn how to build the house. First of all, that's the main thing. I don't know how to build a house, let alone a house made of containers. And the second thing is that I still need to hire a few craftsmen, because clearly there are some parts of the construction where it would be better for a professional to handle it. Anyway, if you're still here watching this video, it means you're interested in all this and you can't wait. You want us to get into the details of the project, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. As I mentioned, my house will be 112 square meters. Bruno's house is 85 square meters, so that's one container less than mine. And it costs 50,000 euros, so I thought to myself, to estimate the cost of my house, I take 50,000 euros, I add 25%, which is one more container, and that will give me a good estimate. So 50,000 euros plus 25%, that's a little over 60,000 euros. But to be sure of that number, I still got about 20 quotes. And that's when the trouble started, right? You must understand that Bruno built his house in 2016, and I will build mine in 2022. And I can tell you that in 6 years, the prices are not at all the same anymore. First of all, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's something called the COVID crisis. That's it. And that made the prices of pretty much everything go up. So that already sets a good foundation. And then, because of all the idiots making reports about container homes, well, now everyone wants to buy containers. Well, yeah, it's become trendy. So the price of containers went from 2,500 euros each to 5,000 euros. It doubled. And to top it all off, the cherry on the cake of good news is that Europe is currently experiencing a huge wood shortage. There's no more wood. Or, when there is some, it's very, very expensive. It's such a historic event that there's a Wikipedia page that was created to talk about this wood crisis. Really, I'll put the link in the description of the video. And now you're thinking, who cares? A container house is made of metal, so why are you bothering us with your wood shortage? Did you see the house back there? The exterior has wood siding screwed onto wooden rafters. Wood fiber insulation is underneath. The interior has wooden flooring. The roof is on a wooden frame. And my heating is wood heating. Wood is great, that's it. And on top of all that, Bruno was focused on cutting costs at all costs. There were plenty of times when he made very economical choices, but not the most optimal ones in terms of ecology. Whereas me, on Demos Kratos, I wanted to be affordable, but also to show you things that are ecologically fascinating. So, that's going to increase the cost of my construction even more. In short, taking all that into account, my house will most certainly not cost me very much. 60,000 or rather 90,000 euros. 90,000 euros for 112 square meters is still reasonable, but to that you have to add more. The total cost is 130,000. 30,000 euros for the land and 10,000 for septic tanks, as the property isn't connected to the sewers. And now we'll have to go see the bank, because even if I do sponsored operations on Demos Kratos, I'm not that rich. I requested 130,000 in the file submitted to the bank, which comes to 500 euros in repayments per month over 25 years if you include the loan repayment plus interest. Considering my salary, 130,000 was the most I could request. It's roughly what I require for my project. So that's it. I'll have to make do with that. If I miscalculated, well, too bad. I'll sleep in a house that's not very well insulated, you know, for those who care. To put together my file for the bank, I went through a real estate broker. Why? Because first of all, she put together my file, so it saved me a lot of time, especially by putting my file together. She put together a financial plan to combine several loans and several rates so that I could get the lowest possible borrowing rate. So even though the broker cost money, I had to hire her, right? She saves me time and money in the long run, making it very profitable. If you're interested, my broker was Ethique Courtage, so if you're in Lyon and you want to use a broker, she's excellent. And what about the bank? I was kind of forced to go through Crédit Agricole because, according to my broker, it was the only bank that was likely to finance self-construction. So there you go. Sorry, Crédit Coopérative, but I'm going to have to leave you for a while, unfortunately. Now let's get to the heart of the matter, which is what I'm actually going to do, step by step. The goal of this video is really for me to show you what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and most importantly, why I'm going to do it. That's very important, but as I said, I still have 5 months left before the work begins. So, you have time to change my mind, to give me new ideas. So, don't hesitate to leave me comments to help me build the project, or even send me an email at contact. Ad arrobas des moscas, all. Father, as I truly desire this to be a collaborative, collective endeavor to become the Demos Kratos house. I would really like us to think together about a project that fulfills 3 objectives. The first is to build an ecological house with consideration for specific materials and a focus on self-sufficiency. The second thing is to build a house project that is affordable so that it's not just for the wealthy. Anyway, I'm not rich, so it would suit me fine if it doesn't cost too much. And then the third point is that the house needs to be easy to build because, to begin with, I'm not handy. If we can do it as a self-build, it will reduce the costs. Above all, the goal is to reclaim the construction of our living space. And so also control over the place where we live every day. And I'm already answering a question I see coming in the comments. Yes, there will be participatory workshops. My goal is to allow some of you to come to my land and help me build the house, so that we can learn how to do it together. So I'll give you more details on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss this information. Anyway, we've painted a general picture. It's time to delve into the details and explore further. Lol, it's funny. Julian can't even assemble an IKEA piece of furniture, but he wants to build a house, and here's how he decided to build it. After months of searching, I went to the notary to sign the preliminary sales agreement for the land and pay the notary fees, which are $3,000. And this agreement has 2 clauses that explain that I'll be the happy owner of the land. If, and only if, I get my loan from the bank and my building permit is approved. These clauses protect me and allow me not to have to buy the land. If I don't get money from the bank and if I can't build my house on it, what then? The land I found is located in Tournus, in Saône-et-Loire, and it's 2,000 square meters, so it's pretty big. I'm happy, and it's relatively flat. That's very important because it will make building on it much easier. And above all, it's surrounded by fields, so I have very few neighbors. And on top of that, the fields belong to some of my neighbors, so there's a possibility that I could buy them in a few years to build a mega forest garden. I won't say more about it for now, as it's just a project in my head, but I want to take the eco-friendly approach much further than just building my house. Anyway, the land is great, it's big, it's flat, and it's right in the middle of nature. It only cost me 28,000 euros, which is very little, plus 3,000 euros in notary fees. But the only downside is that it's not connected to the sewer system. So I have to install a septic tank, which will cost me about 10,000 euros more for the septic tank. There are 3 types of independent sanitation: the compact system, the microstation, and phytopurification. Phytopurification appears to be the most eco-friendly choice. Basically, the wastewater goes into the roots of the plants along with the bacteria. It's very natural, there aren't any heavy installations, whereas the other options use big plastic or concrete tanks. The issue is that I'm using a contractor for my earthworks and autonomous sanitation system installation. I'm limited to what he knows how to install. Very few earthworkers know how to install phytopurification systems. So for now, I'm going with a compact system. So, a big plastic or concrete tank that you bury in the ground using coconut fibers or clay. It's the most eco-friendly option in this category, but not the best overall. So for now, that's what I'm going with. I bet you're thinking I could create my own phytoremediation system. You're correct. In fact, YouTube has numerous tutorials demonstrating how to do it. But everyone who has done it advised me against it because it takes months to build. It's really discouraging because it's so complicated and it still costs a lot of money. So, as long as I don't find a professional who can do it for me at an affordable price, I'm not going to go with that solution. Because I still want my project to move quickly. And I'm doing so many other things in self-construction that I don't have time to spend on the phytopurification system. That's one of the things I've learned actually by starting this container house project. I'm going to have to limit my ambitions to what the professionals around me know how to do and are used to doing, and to what I'm capable of doing myself or what I'm able to learn to do. And it's exactly the same thing for the foundations. The whole goal of my project is not to use concrete, because concrete is one of the worst materials from an ecological point of view. Go watch Osenskozo's video on this topic. But the problem is that 99% of the time, foundations are made of concrete. That's it. So I looked for alternative solutions. For example, there's hempcrete or Roman-style foundations with stone and lime. Prior to concrete, houses were built on these types of foundations, which work very well. The problem is that the French industry has been built for decades on concrete all the time. And we've lost a crazy amount of skills, knowledge, and know-how. So, no, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel now on my project. I don't have the time, I don't have the skills to revolutionize everything. And I'm going to have to make choices that aren't necessarily the most environmentally friendly, but they're conditioned by the society I live in. I can't start a revolution. Every time I say that, but I still found a solution to reduce my use of concrete, which is to make foundations out of cinder blocks. And cinder blocks are cement mixed with gravel and sand, so it's not great, but maybe it's a little less bad. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing how we're going to make these cinder block foundations, I invite you to check out the video. Building a house out of containers from A to Z, where we show photos of how Bruno did it, and that will give you more details. It's in the video card and in the description. The main part of the project, as you may have guessed, is the containers, and it's one of the simplest parts. Because once the foundations are ready, in just a few hours, actually, trucks drop the containers on top of them. And that's pretty much wrapped up, but now I still have to find some containers and not too expensive ones. Because as I was telling you, everyone wants to build a house, offices, classrooms, community bars. Even the French army uses containers, everyone wants them. So, if you have a plan to buy 40-foot containers, not too expensive, meaning between 3,000 and 4,000 euros, shipping included. I'm very interested. Send me an email. Once the containers are in place, I weld them together to create a structure that's both watertight and stable. And then I use a plasma torch to cut out the spaces for the windows and doors, and then I install the windows and doors. And I gradually realized that I'm going to need quite a few tools and a lot of advice. So it would be good if I could negotiate a partnership with a hardware store on Demos Kratos. To save interior space, we need to insulate this structure from the outside. We'll have to install the insulation. 160 centimeters of insulation on the sides, on the walls, and 320 centimeters on the roof. For now, I'm going with wood fiber or biofib trio, which is a mix of flax, hemp, and recycled cotton. We've insulated the sides and top, but the floor still needs insulation. I might have a solution. As for biofib chape, it's made of hemp and flax pellets that allow for insulation between the container and the flooring. By the way, I'm telling you this because I like you. I suggested to Biofib to form a partnership with Demos Kratos because I really want to introduce this company to you. They do very interesting things from an ecological point of view, and because it might help reduce the cost of insulation a bit. To get some promotions for me, and for you as well, most likely. But for now, they don't seem very enthusiastic, so I'm counting on you to tag them here and there, maybe send them a message or two saying, hey, it would be nice to do something with Demos Kratos. There you go, Biofib. If you're watching this video too, I really want to work with you. It could be cool, thank you. Now, in addition to the insulation, I'm going to add wooden cladding, as you can see behind me. It will give it a chalet look, and on top of that, block the wind, adding extra insulation. And for the roof, I'd like to reuse the sheet metal that I'll cut out for the windows, the doors, basically all the sheet metal I'll cut out from inside the containers. But I figured out that I don't have enough, so I'll need to buy 2 or 3 from someone. But there are so many people building with containers that I think it should be possible to find some. Then, the big question I'm asking myself is how I'm going to attach these pieces of sheet metal to my roof so that it's watertight, so it doesn't rain in my living room. And also, the other question I'm asking myself is whether I need to sandblast this sheet metal first, meaning sand it to remove the paint. So there aren't any residues in the rainwater, because, yeah, I want to collect my rainwater too, that's another thing, and now I have 2 options. Either at the same time as installing the septic tank. I have a 3,000 liter concrete tank installed to collect rainwater, which will cost me just over $3,000, and use it for my toilets, my washing machine, and maybe other things. Or the second option is after the work is done. Later, I just buy a 1,000 liter plastic tank, put it under my gutter. It'll only cost me a few €100 and it'll let me water my garden. But I tell myself that anyway, I want to install dry toilets, and I don't do a lot of laundry either, so that's where I plan to use it. Mostly this water is for the garden, so wouldn't it be a better idea to install the small tank? That saves me 3,000 euros on concrete work, and it's more in line with my needs. So once again, I'm saying it, my opinion isn't final. Share your ideas in the video comments or email them to contact@demoskratos.father. A house is land, a building, and primarily energy consumption. So when it comes to water, as we've seen, I'll collect rainwater and use dry toilets. And for heating, I've already used an eco-friendly insulation that will help me reduce my consumption. But I'm also going to install a pellet stove. Yes, more wood. Like I told you, a container house is above all made of wood. A pellet stove in the center of the house will heat most rooms. For heating the water, I decided to go with a thermodynamic water heater. A hot water tank that uses heat from the air to warm the water is called a heat pump water heater. It doesn't use gas and uses very, very little electricity, so it's actually pretty good from an environmental point of view. The idea of the house is really that all the energy used comes either from wood or from electricity. For electricity, I plan to install solar panels on the roof or elsewhere, location yet to be determined. That will be a project to do later, once the house is already set up and it's still under consideration. But I don't think I'll go with batteries to store the energy and all that. I'll connect it to the grid. Because my goal isn't necessarily to be self-sufficient or to produce my own electricity. It's to produce as much as I consume. To have an eco-friendly approach, to have a greenhouse and not necessarily be self-sufficient. And I couldn't finish this video without giving you a little tour of what the inside of the house will look like. I did a little simulation on the Cozy Casa website to understand the layout of the spaces. You just have to imagine that the walls and ceilings, the containers like at Bruno's, will provide a good idea of the setup. Let's look at the plan first. So we'll have 112 square meters with two 14 square meter bedrooms, a 2 square meter toilet and an 11 square meter bathroom. A 41 SQM kitchen dining room and a 28 SQM living room. The large kitchen dining room size is due to the house entrance being located in the same area. The wood stove will be placed in the center of the house to heat all the rooms, and the water heater will be hidden behind the toilet. I know you're all excited. Let's visit the house. So we enter through the front door, and on the left we have the living room. What you see here is an I-beam that will support the containers, since I cut out the entire wall between the two. At the back, next to it, there's the office guest room that opens to the garden. I really like this place. To the right of the entrance, there's the dining room with two large picture windows opening to the garden and the kitchen. There's a support pillar as I removed the entire wall of the containers. On the left, we have the entrance to my bedroom. There you go, don't pay too much attention to the setup. I did this quickly. Well, my girlfriend did it quickly. And right next to it, we have the bathroom and the toilet here. As for the garden, I don't have much to show you. I'm going to build the house first and then take care of the outside later on. But I know that Fabrice Dejo doesn't live very far from my place, so I think I'll go visit him one day. To tell him, come on Fabrice, would you like to help me create a forest garden on the 1500 square meters of land I have left? Those are some future projects on Demos Kratos that will most certainly happen. Fabrice, if you're watching this video, come on, let's do things together. It's going to be cool. I'm very, very happy to have been able to present this project to you because I've been working hard on it for 5 months. And it might seem fast to you, 5 months, but actually I've been wanting to leave Lyon and move to the countryside for more than 2 years. So this is kind of the beginning of the completion of something. This project is a new adventure for both me and Demos Kratos. Because of course I will continue making videos on political topics, but I will also actually get involved to live in a more ecological way. I am hopeful that by getting closer to nature and forming more direct connections with the living world around me, I will have more inspiration. Here are more interesting videos with new ideas to share with you. So, expect to see videos about the progress of this project on Demos Kratos in the coming weeks. But also more reports about people who are in the same mindset. For instance, Damien Descartes, whom we visited recently and whose report will be out 1 to 2 weeks after this video. And we still have 3 or 4 other reports that we've already made, which will be released soon. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss them, because we're back on Demos Kratos. It's good, we're all in. I'm a bit remotivated with this container house project. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing your ideas in the comments to take part in this great adventure. Thank you to everyone who supported us on Tipeee and Utip. It's crucial for our upcoming projects on Demos Kratos, as we have many in the pipeline. Big reports that required a lot of work from us. And all these vlogs around the construction of the house, which will require production time and will require me to hire someone. So yes, it's very important. Your support is very important. On Demos Kratos, you've trusted me for years, I've trusted you for years, and it works very well like that. Thank you and see you soon on Demos Kratos.